Hi, and welcome to this simple video walkthrough of the Rhapsody Business Assessment. First off, a big congratulations for taking this all important step in taking your business to the next level. It's been said that what doesn't get measured can't get improved. By taking this honest and look at your business, you'll be able to identify the areas that you need to improve and build a plan to take it where you envision it going. Let's take a deeper look at your report. On page one, we have a congratulations message designed to really reinforce the importance of the step you've just taken. Deep down, you know you're meant for more, and you've taken this step to take a look at your business and understand how your business is really performing. On the bottom left-hand corner of the first page, we also have a table of contents that can help you navigate through the report and help you find relevant sections quickly. On the bottom right-hand corner, we have some financial information that you provided when you took the assessment that at a glance helps you understand how your business is performing from a revenue and expense perspective. The next page of the report is one that's always of great interest to all of our clients, and that's the scorecard page. Here we find your overall results to all of the questions that you answered in the Rhapsody Business Assessment. Now, for the first time, you're seeing the categories for which you were grading yourself. These were not represented in the online assessment that you took, as all the questions were randomized, and doing that was designed to get the most honest answer possible. When we look at setting your course, for example, this would be strategic planning, vision, mission, values, all the things that belong to strategic planning and setting the proper course for your business to succeed. The score of 5.4 here represents an average score of 10 different statements where you rated yourself 1 through 10. The D to the side of it, of course, corresponds to the rating system that we have down here in the legend. Before we move on, let's talk a little bit about how to interpret these scores. You might be looking at your scores thinking that you and your business are doing really well, but it's a bit more nuanced than that. It's important to keep in mind that your scores are subjective. And while we have no doubt that most of the scores are accurate, you may or may not be giving yourself a higher or lower grade in some of the areas. So as you go through the entire document, don't be afraid to challenge your initial grades. Now, we definitely want to improve the performance of the core functions of our business, but we need to think clearly about the sequence of changes. Sequence is important. You just can't change everything at once. So you can dig into the details of each of the categories, and we encourage you to do that. But let's start with this question. If your business could speak to you right now, and it could tell you the three categories that most need your attention, what would they be? And why those three? Take a few minutes to write down your answers. Another question you might ask is, what do those three categories have to do with one another? How are they related to each other? Let's look for some themes and some linkages. It's important. You see, some categories might not be as important to you right now, and you can get to those later. Think about which categories, if you were to make a major improvement in them, which ones would make the biggest, most significant difference on the performance of your business. These are the categories that need your attention today. So let's keep a close eye on them as we work our way through the results. On the next page, we see a couple of different ways to look at your results. First of all is the bar chart that is located at the top of the report. There are a few things you can look for as you look at this bar chart. First, you can look at the difference between your highest and lowest scores to see how much variance there is between the different parts and elements of your business. In this example, we can see there's a range from 3.0 at the low end to 6.9 on the high end. That's almost a 5-point spread, which is a fairly broad range. Now, maybe your case is different. We've seen some where the scores are all clustered closely together and others where they are very diverse. Wherever you find yourself, we're going to work over time to bring those results closer together. Second, you can also look to see how your scores are grouped together. For example, in this case, you can see there's a group on the far right-hand side that includes leadership, culture, marketing, sales, customer service, turning conflict into opportunity, and innovation. These are all areas that require creativity, communications, and often a high level of emotional intelligence. There's another group that includes systems, focusing on what matters, and finding the right people that are close together. These are all areas that require deliberate, systematic approaches. You get the idea. As you look at your results, try to find some of these natural groupings and then see what's common among them. They may help to reveal some of your personal strengths and weaknesses as a leader. Below the bar chart is the radar chart. It includes the very same categories that you've seen represented already in your assessment, and you're going to notice three different lines on it. The orange line is your score for each category. These are the same scores that are found in the bar chart and in your report card. You're also going to see a small dotted line in a circle, and that circle represents your average score overall. In the case of this example, we have an average score of 5.4. The third line, which is this light gray dotted line, the long dashes, is the average score from all the businesses who have completed this assessment to date. This gives you a sense when you're looking at your scores of how your scores fall relative to other businesses. When I look at the radar chart, I like to think of it like the tires on a car. If your score, the orange line, was the tires on your car, how smooth would your ride be? For example, in the example that we have here, you can tell that it would be a pretty bumpy ride. It wouldn't be a comfortable experience at all. Your scores might be telling you the same thing. Perhaps it's showing you what your experience has been like. Is the business running smoothly, or are you regularly feeling the bumps? If a full-size tire was a perfect 10 score in every category, like most businesses, your scores probably look more like a spare tire. And if you've ever had to use a spare tire, they always have a safety message included on them. And they basically say, don't go far and don't go fast. If your business is to reach its full potential, the goal is to grow out your scores in all of these different categories so that your business can go farther and get there faster. On the very next page, we have your top three priorities. When you completed the RBA, you identified three areas that really matter for you in your business. Now that you've had a chance to see your high level results across the entire business, and think about what's happening in the organization, would you keep the same three priorities? How would you change them? What do you understand now more clearly than you understood before? It's important to reflect on these and make sure you've identified the three priorities that matter most, as these represent the three high leverage areas for the most significant change and improvement for your business. The pages that follow use a similar format. They provide you your detailed results for each of the categories represented in your Rhapsody business assessment. What you will see on each page are the 10 statements that relate to each category, the score you gave for each statement, and then the average response from other leaders who have completed this assessment. When you look at your scores, you're going to see some variation. You might find it valuable to start assessing your results by looking first at your highest and your lowest scores. Find your highest scores and take a moment to feel some pride in what you've accomplished there. Think of an example, perhaps, to bring that statement to life. Let's reinforce what's working and celebrate what's going well. Now look at your lowest scores, but let's do this with curiosity and not with judgment. Look at that score and think of an example that brings it to life as well. And then start to think about how else the business might have responded, or you might have responded differently as a leader. Take a minute and jot down some tangible actions that you could take to make a difference here. What does your business need you to do in this particular area? For the scores in between your highest and lowest, look at what they may have in common and use that information to identify what else needs to happen in this category. Take a few minutes right now to do that. At the bottom of the page, you can see a line graph that provides your results, your overall average, and the RBA average, just as we saw on the radar chart previously. This lets you see at a glance how much variation there is in responses within this particular category. You see, you may not have to fix everything in a category to make a major difference in your business. And this helps you be much more specific and targeted with your energy and your attention. Each of the categories in the assessment operate using this very same framework. So use this process we just highlighted for each category. Make sure you spend additional time on the categories that you identified as most important when you were looking at your report card. Also, make sure to study the categories related to your top three priorities very closely. Try and go deeper and get to the root of what's happening in your business in each category and what the most powerful actions are for you to take going forward. Now that you've gone through the quantitative results of the RBA, let's take a few minutes to dive into the discovery questions you answered. These questions and your answers to them are found after the category reports we just discussed. It's important to note that the discovery here is for you. It's a chance to go back to your answers and to bring the curiosity of an analyst to your responses. Imagine you're looking into someone else's business. What are their answers telling you? What patterns can you see? Where does this leader need to grow? What do the responses suggest needs more attention or less attention? Remember to suspend any judgment of yourself here. Just be curious and jot down your insights and thoughts as you go. Make sure you don't rush through these questions either. It can be tempting to answer quickly, jotting down the first thing that comes to mind. These questions are designed to bring clarity in what you're wanting to accomplish with your business. The more thought you put into the answers, the more clarity you'll have. And finally, as you review your answers, what would you change? How might you answer the questions differently now that you have a better perspective on your company's performance? Now, if you've gone through all of the information that we've covered so far in one sitting, you've just waded through an immense amount of information about your business and about yourself as a leader. Let's take a moment now to pause and think about what you've learned. We do this using these reflection questions. These questions have been carefully designed to further reveal what you need to focus on in your business. Work through each of them with care. Be honest with yourself. The more transparent you are with yourself about the business, the faster you'll be able to make changes. We have found that it can be very helpful to reflect on these questions over a period of several days. Don't rush answering them. They're called reflection questions for a reason. So take the time you need to reflect carefully on the answers. Remember, the quality of your answers will determine the effectiveness of the action you take to transform your business. At this point in the report, you're getting ready to map a plan based on your results. This particular page outlines the ongoing process we use with our clients. It works in all businesses and it's your guide going forward. You've just completed the assess process. You've done it in detail, and getting that right is essential for the following steps. Next, you're going to prioritize the areas of your business that you need to address, and then you're going to create a plan. Then, of course, you're going to have to work the plan. On the next page, we have your 12-month transformation plan. There's a great expression that says, you can do anything you want, you just can't do it all at the same time. That's good advice. You can improve every part of your business over time. You just can't do it all at once. Go back through the notes you've taken now and think of the most important things you need to do to improve your business. Also think about the sequence, the order. Getting that right is critical. Using the quarterly plan, start to make commitments about what you'll be changing in your business over the next 12 months, quarter by quarter. Choose these carefully and choose them with conviction. This isn't a light planning exercise. The future of your business is at stake. It needs your attention and it needs your best. You might want to choose 1 to 3 initiatives at most for each quarter. And if you choose just one major initiative, that's okay too. It will lead to meaningful progress if you execute your plan. You have your quarterly priorities now, and you've made your decisions with conviction. Now it's time to put the first quarter into action using your 90-day action plan. On this page, you're going to map out the steps that you need to take in the next 12 weeks to accomplish the objectives you set for the first priority. This is a time to get very specific, to get detailed, and get serious. This is the time to start blocking time in your calendar to bring these actions to life. and to build the business you imagined when you first began. These need to become your overarching priorities for the next 90 days. This concludes the RBA walkthrough video. On behalf of the entire team at Rhapsody Strategies, we wish you the best of success in your efforts to build the business you've always dreamed of. Again, congratulations.